Music, industry talk, stories, equipment and more. We are Crossfader and this is off the record. Off the record. Off the record.
Welcome back to the podcast Off the Record with myself, Jamie Hartley, and we're actually recording this week live from Amsterdam. We're in a little meeting room as part of ADE, and we thought what better than to start pulling some guests into this podcast and finding out some more details about them and how they can help you level up in the industry or get some insight from some of these amazing guests. So if you're a new listener to the show, then we talk about all things DJ related, from the DJ industry, products, hardware, software, to then tips and tricks to getting your first gigs and much, much more. So without further ado, I just want to introduce our guest this week. It's none other than Mojaxx from the DJCity camp.
Hello. Oh my God. Applause.
There we go. He hasn't said anything yet, but we're going in with the applause. Yeah. No, he deserves a big round of applause before we even get in, because you know what? This guy brings some of the most authentic and some of the most in-depth reviews to YouTube. If you've ever, searched for a new DJ product, you're more than likely to have seen Mojaxx going deep in on those reviews on YouTube. I personally love to watch the reviews and all the other content that goes up on the DJCity YouTube as well. So, I'm excited to get stuck in here and hear about your story and then how it ended up to where you are now, and pass on some knowledge to those DJs that are listening as well. So first of all, do you want to kind of introduce you and your backstory and tell us a bit about yourself?
I'm Mojaxx. I'm originally from the south coast of the UK. I have been DJing for about 27 years, which is quite a long time.
Yeah, I'm 28. Going on 29.
So you win then. I'll get my coat.
That's my age.
So I was DJing. That's the thing now. I know a lot of DJs. I was DJing before they were born. Like that. That's a pretty common thing now.
Yeah.
But this is in the age when DJing was kind of cool on some levels. Like you had rave DJs and people like that, and the hip hop scene a bit, but the average DJ in a club or a bar was not seen as a cool person. Like they were just one level above the glass collector. It was not a cool job to do, but I just loved the idea of playing music and sharing it with people. So my dad was head teacher of a junior school, primary age, and I did the school discos for his school. That was my first thing, and I had two separate stereo systems.
Right.
So, and I just had one record on one, and then turn that one down, and then turn up the other stereo.
So there wasn't really a mixer.
Speakers. It was literally just two different complete hi-fi systems, turning one up, turning one down. And I used to record the top 40 charts off Radio 1, and cut. You have to press pause on the tape just after Mark Goodyear had said, this is such and such in at number 4 this week. So I did all that kind of the tape stuff, and I had a lot of 7-inch vinyl at the time.
So you were actually the original ripper of music. You were the original.
Everyone did that though. In the 80s, everyone just recorded off the radio because that's all you could do. You didn't have CD burners, even mini disc at that time. You just had tapes. So that was the only way because I wasn't getting paid loads of money. So the only way I could afford to get all the new hits was to go and just record them off the charts. And that's the beginning. And then I was a mobile DJ, did that for a long time, and then got into clubs, and here we are.
Nice. So from doing those school discos, how did it transition into doing mobile DJ? Was it for friends? Was it for family? Did you kind of make something of it and send out business cards? No,
I did it I started on my own, and then I got a couple of buddies involved doing it with me, and we were really good at school discos and kids parties and stuff, because we were young. We were 13, 14 ourselves. So we just got involved and did silly dance stuff with the kids and loads of energy. And a lot of mobile DJs who do school discos and stuff, they turn up, it's a middle-aged guy, just sits behind his thing and plays his records. We were like kids entertainers almost. So the word got around to other schools in the area. So there came a point we were doing 10 schools at the end of every term.
Nice.
In the local area. And then that gets onto word of mouth. You get onto, weddings, birthday parties and that sort of stuff. So it was got a lot of experience very quickly, made no money because we were spending money on equipment and lights. And
well, I was about to ask, what was your first piece of what you would consider a real piece of DJ equipment? Obviously having the two stereos wasn't necessarily...
It was a Fowls Ranger, and it was a double deck console. So it was basically a big wooden box with that kind of that rough textured plastic coating, you know, like you get it on old speakers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's that stuff. It was covered in that, had 2 turntables, but they were like shells of a turntable, like suspended in the middle, and it had faders up and down, had an amp built in, 200 watts.
Nice.
I don't think that was RMS. I'm pretty sure that was peak power.
Peak.
But yeah, that was my first thing, because I'd seen DJs using 2 turntables, and I thought that's what I need to do. But they didn't have pitch control, so I wasn't able to learn then to mix. It wasn't until I got a bit older I realised, okay, beat matching, you need pitch controls. Then I got the SoundLab DLP1 belt drive turntables, and learned to mix on those. And that, so yeah, it's all just a progression.
Nice. How do you think that compares to a new DJ in their bedroom now and the equipment they have access to? You know, do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing that you have these amazing little controllers that, you know, can do so much? Do you think
of course
that
it's a good thing? It's nothing but a good thing. You know, I believe in the art and the craft of DJing, and the more people doing it, the better.
Yeah.
You know, not everyone's going to be doing it for the right reasons, but ultimately, I want to spread the word of DJing. Like, DJing is the best thing in the world. Everyone should be a DJ. And then, so yeah, absolutely. So having I worked in DJ equipment retail around about 2001, 2002 in mail order. And we used to sell Newmark DJ in a box kits, 2 belt drive turntables, Blue Dog mixer, and came with like little powered speakers as well. And that was like 200 quid. So it's not far off, except then you had to go and buy records. And a record was £5, £6, £7. So I think the accessibility factor has never been higher, and I think that's a really good thing, you know. And when it gets to that point where you've got streaming involved, and somebody can just subscribe to a service for like £5 a month, get all the music they want, and then that's enough to just play around at home. You've not made a massive investment. You can decide if DJing is something that lights your fire, you know.
It's one of the first things we always say when new products come through the studio, and especially these cheaper controllers that come through. We all just look at them and go, if we had this when we were starting out, this is amazing. You know, I can learn all the basics, but then I can go and do so much more as well, even in this nice small price point. I remember when I first started, I had to spend more than you have to spend now to get less. So it's, you know, it's great.
The controllers are such a recent innovation as well. When you think back to it, it's not that long ago. It was like Serato Itch and things like that. What was that, like 2011?
About that, yeah. That's what I started on.
It's not long ago in the scheme of things, you know. So yeah, and they've progressed so far. Like, the original controllers were really limited, and now you've got things with like spinning jog wheels and all kinds. You know, the whole thing has changed up massively. So whatever kind of DJ you want to be, there is a controller out there for you now. Like, if you want to be a house person, like syncing stuff up and doing really long blends, there's a controller for you. If you want to scratch, there's a controller for you. So yeah, I think it's great.
Market's covered. So then from those mobile days to then working in clubs, where did that transition happen? How did you make the choice to switch, or was it a natural thing? Where did that come about?
I think it's just anyone, you know, you're into, especially if you're into dance music, as I was, you know, I was into house and things like that. And you want to play in clubs. So you just hassle the local promoters. You know, this is all pre-social media. So it's just a case of taking CDs around and just getting to know people. The whole thing with DJing is just networking and getting to meet people in real life. And, you know, I eventually got a residency. Again, made no money. I was getting paid like £20 a night at one point, doing Friday and Saturday with another guy. I didn't make any money out of DJing for about 10 years.
So what were you doing as well as DJing then? Like, just
normal jobs and stuff. You know, at first I was at school, and then you know, and then just normal jobs, and DJing was always kind of a hobby on the side. But it's always been there my whole life. You know, since the age of 13, I've just been a DJ.
There's probably a lot of people that are listening that can resonate with that are working normal jobs, like you say, and are desperate to, you know, keep pursuing this DJ passion, keep trying to take it to that next step, and they're not really enjoying the jobs that they're doing, and they've really got this passion to drive forward and become a DJ and make that their full-time thing. Was there a point where DJing became your sole sort of, income or purpose, or the way that you know, was there a switching point?
Yeah, there was. It's when I moved up to Newcastle, like 2005 or something like that, and I went to university as a mature student. So I went to university at the age of 28, did media because I was like, I'm sick of doing rubbish normal jobs. Like, I want to get something good. Yep. So I went to uni, and all that actually came out of that, I did media production. So I've learned stuff about video editing, stuff like that, which has come in handy later. But all that happened at the time was I finished uni and just went straight full time into DJing because I'd had that free time to kind of push myself out to people and get to know people. And so by the time I'd finished uni, I was DJing 4 or 5 nights a week. And that became my job.
How long did that last for? Like, how long would you say that DJing was your full-time
like 4 years
job? Like, and did you find that the way that you felt about it changed over those 4 years? Did you think, when it turns into doing it every night of the week, did it change?
I made a decision very early in my career that I'm not DJing because I have a particular passion for a certain type of music. Yeah. Like, I'm not trying to push minimal techno to the world. I'll play anything that rocks a party. And when you have to accept it. If you're going to be that kind of DJ, you're going to get work, but you're not going to be Martin Garrix.
Yeah.
That's the compromise you make. I was like, I'm looking at my life here. I can make a good living as a DJ for a good few years. You can't do it forever because you need security in your life. But, I could do this, and it means I have to play, mainstream bars, play popular hits. I'm cool with that. Like, if people are having fun, I'm good at it.
Nice.
And that's when technically I was better than I've ever been.
Yeah.
Around about 2012, when Serato DJ came out, and I was on the DJCity, and I was doing video sets, mixing music videos, trying to push that.
Nice.
Turns out nobody cares. But
so did you feel like that?
I tried it for a while.
The controllers unlocked another layer of creativity?
Well, it did, because it was already starting to get to the point where UK venues were not supplying proper DJ equipment.
Yeah.
What happened really, from my perspective, is CDJs became a thing, and then CDJs became more expensive. So, you got to the point where to outfit a booth with the current up-to-date stuff is going to cost you $3,000. And a lot of venue owners
now, isn't it?
Yeah, and a lot of venue owners are not interested in that, so they started pulling back. So it's like, well, I can turn up and play on these slightly knackered Technics 1200s and this DJM whatever 800 that's got all the paint come off. It looks like it's got Ebola. I could play on that, or I could bring my shiny SX along and plug that in instead.
I had the exact same thing. Same thing. I was taking equipment to gigs because there was, CDJ 1000s that
you still see that
were
now,
broken.
though. It's crazy.
Well, nothing's changed, does it? Sadly, it's just we've taken the cost of the equipment on board, and
which is really annoying because DJs have not absorbed. Like, we haven't got paid extra for that.
No, we haven't. No, actually,
the venues have basically just saved themselves money because they no longer have to maintain. There was a time you could walk into a bar or a club and they'd have needles on the decks. Like, you could just walk in and just put a record on. Imagine that.
But then
imagine playing vinyl today and not having to take your own needles. Never.
I've got to shout out Mint Club there. They still supplied Mint Clubs, still supplied needles in Mint Club in Leeds. They did recommended bringing your own, but they had them there, and I was like, props, like that's cool.
It's a rarity.
Yeah, I mean, there massively. Are proper venues still.
Yeah,
there will always be good venues, but I'm talking about your mainstream.
It's always
bars.
like the bar / trying to be nightclub that have the oldest equipment.
Or even if they have equipment, it can be broken. I mean, some of my residencies have the latest stuff, like Nexus 2 setup, not a problem, but it's knackered.
I feel most of the time if it's not like a music venue, like if it's just a nightclub, in some cases the manager's like, I don't know what this does. It's DJ equipment, deal with it.
Is the music coming out? Yes, good. Let's open the doors and make money.
Yeah. So the interest in the actual DJ equipment and sort of really getting stuck into all the different equipment that's coming out in the market, and then the transition to becoming part of the DJCity team, where did that start? How did that come about? Did you start seeing a shift in the industry and thought, what, I'm really interested in the technology now that's being added, or was it? How did that come about? No,
that's always been there. I've always been the person who got DJ Mag and went straight to the back.
Yeah,
the tech section at the back. I'm always just a technology nerd. I love technology in all walks of life. But I worked in this retail. It was dex.co.uk. Sadly, rest in peace, is no more. I worked there, and that
I'm sure I must have bought some stuff from them.
Everyone did in the UK at some point, and that just kind of got, because I was just talking about DJ gear all day for like 18 months that I worked there. All I did was talk about DJ gear, so that fueled the fire even more. Yeah. And then when I decided, after doing this full-time DJing for a while, I was like, right, what can I do? I'm getting older. I need something a bit more reliable in my life. I did this media production thing, and I'd been watching Phil Morse, Digital DJ Tips, and TLM of this parish, who will be around. And DJ Booth as well, Kareem at DJ Booth. I've been watching their videos. I was like, I'll give that a try.
Yeah.
So I just gave it a try. So I hit up a buddy who still worked at Dex, got a Control Z1 sent through, the little 2-channel mixer thing from Native Instruments.
Yeah.
And I did a little a walkthrough on that. I didn't want to do reviews then. I didn't have the clout to do reviews. It was just like, I'm going to demo this thing, and then gradually built up the contacts from there. And I sort of knew some people from back in the day, and it just went from there. And then I worked for DJ Tech Tools for a while, freelancing.
Yeah.
And then DJCity came along and said, oh, well, our UK operation is based in Newcastle, the city that you live. We have an office. Would you like to do it there instead of in your garage? I said, yes.
How long ago was that then that you went?
That was 2013.
Right. Cool.
Yeah.
How's it been over the last 5 years? Is it now 4 or 5 years with DJCity? Is it
200 plus videos?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's what can I say? It's the best company in the world.
Yeah.
I'm not blowing smoke. Like, it's the best company in the world.
Yeah.
Just because everyone who works there is completely focused on the same goals. Like, everyone wants to achieve the same thing. I've never been surrounded by such inspiring people.
Yeah.
Like DJ Play, who's the UK and Europe kind of boss. I'm just around him and I'm just like vibing. I'm just like, I want to achieve.
Yeah.
Because this guy is just on point all the time. He won't watch this, so I can say I won't embarrass him. But yeah, and everyone in the company is like that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Every single person. Like, they're one of the first. I'd only been with them less than a year, I think, and we went and we had a staff retreat in Las Vegas, like a mansion outside near the airport in Vegas.
Nice.
And everyone was there. And it was a smaller team at that point, so we could still do. We could do it now with all the worldwide staff. It would be crazy, but yeah. So everyone was there in this mansion, partied super hard, like drinking madness. And then the next morning at like 10 o'clock, they're all sat around on their laptops, working, doing edits, uploading stuff, getting stuff
Good.
done at 10 a.m.
Strong work ethic.
Strong work ethic. And I've always traditionally been quite a lazy person. And so to be surrounded by people who have that work ethic drives me to have that ethic as well.
Nice.
And it's a fantastic company to work for. It's just the best, yeah.
Nice. So just segmenting slightly here, a lot of the listeners that listen to this podcast obviously want to know about things like getting into the industry and how to, grow as a DJ and level up and get further in their career. But I just want to touch on social media. Obviously, we all use it. We're all very active on it. And we like to ask a lot of DJs that come through, and the future guests on the podcast are going to be asking similar questions like, what do you think about social media in the DJ industry nowadays? Is it a good tool for DJs to promote themselves? Is it a bit toxic? Where do you stand with it? And do you think, giving advice to those up and coming DJs, where should they be focusing?
Well, I think in general, for our society as a whole, it's completely toxic and dangerous, and it might destroy us all.
Yeah.
But as a DJ, it's something you have to master and you have to use. Yeah. And because that's the reality, a commercial reality is you need to have a social media presence.
Yeah.
And it's not about putting stuff out there and like faking it. Like, you can spot people who are trying to do that fake it till you make it thing. You can spot it a mile off with like bought followers and, just posting stuff like, oh, thanks Nike and all this for their trainers they've just bought, this kind of stuff. Like you can spot that a mile off, but people understand authenticity and they dig it. So if your life is boring, you don't have to post 20 inspirational things a day. Just post something that's important to you, and other people who share that interest and that feeling will connect with you.
Yeah,
but
100%.
it's a really important networking tool. Like, I've met you once at a gig.
Yeah.
You two I've never met before. But we know each other through social media. So even YouTube is social media in itself. So it's just really important. You've got to find the platform that works for you, though. Like, Twitter is a cesspool, but some people really like Twitter. It just works for them.
Yeah.
Some people prefer Facebook. For me, it's Instagram. That's the one where I feel most at home, because there's never like arguments on Instagram. It's just nice photos and stuff. So I like that.
It's not too intense as Instagram. You can keep scrolling very easily. So
yeah, but look at DJs who are doing well in the field you want to be in, and don't copy them, but take inspiration from them. Like, if you're into the kind of open format, traveling the world, not being tied to one genre, Latin Prince from DJCity, he's a New York guy. he is the master of social media. Like he just runs it all the time. And so just follow people that you respect and try and just take inspiration from what they do, because every scene is different. Like the house scene, like there's this guy Elliot Adamson from Newcastle, Patrick Topping and stuff. He's just so out there and honest and funny, just naturally funny. He's not trying. He's just out there being himself and having a laugh on social media, and that really appeals to people. He's got a mad following. So just you've got to look around you and don't try and force something that isn't working for you.
Nice. Right, let's segment this.
Story time.
So we try and bring some interesting stories to the table when we do these podcasts. In the past, we've had some of ourselves, dive into different stories. But seeing as we've got a guest, Mojaxx, I'll let you take centre stage and roll with a story.
I have told this elsewhere before. It's a weird one. I lived in London for 5 years. And I hated it. I'm not a big city kind of guy, but I was there and I was DJing. And at the time I was DJing with a friend of mine called Shaylin, and we DJ'd as Fat Plastic, PHAT. And we played like funky beats, like A-Skills, that kind of vibe. And we did some terrible gigs and we did some good gigs, but one day we were booked to play this pub near one of the big markets. I can't remember where it was in London now, but it was just a pub, and it was like starting on a Sunday lunchtime, so it was almost like a after hours kind of thing. Like people would go out all night clubbing and then go on to an after party and then start in this pub on the Sunday lunchtime. So we rock up, we've got our bags and boxes of records, because this was in the vinyl days, and we're starting to get everything set up. And the guy comes over, he's like, "Oh, hang on guys, we need to swap the mixer out. Just one sec." It was like a Vestax 05. So he took the mixer and just never came back. Just stole the mixer. Just walked out the door of the pub.
So he didn't work there or anything?
Just some guy stole the mixer. And we're like stood there going, what do we do now? Because we didn't know. We just thought he worked at the pub.
Jeez. What I'm worried about now is people listening to this podcast thinking, I might try that.
And you know what? If you're a blagger, you can probably get away with all kinds of crimes like that up to a point.
Just put a high vis on in this day and age. You can go anywhere and do anything if you're wearing a high vis coat.
Yeah, he literally just walked up and just acted like he was like the sound guy or whatever. And he said, we just need to swap the mixer out. I'll just we didn't see him just go out the front door.
That's kind of genius.
We couldn't play, so we didn't even get to play. That's the thing. There was no mixer.
Did you get paid?
No, couldn't do it. So it was the worst. That was a terrible gig. We had some bad gigs in London.
Okay, so let's dive back into the podcast. Now, obviously, you review a lot of DJ products on the DJCity YouTube channel.
That's fair
so I think it's only right that we talk hardware, software, get into the nitty-gritty of
things. Let's talk things.
The tech of the DJ world. So, do we just go in with a big hard question to start with? It might not be hard, but do you have a favorite piece of DJ gear currently at the time of recording?
On a longer term basis, the Denon SC5000M with the spinning platter, standalone media player,
Epic.
7-inch vinyl on top. It's like my dream bit of hardware.
Yeah.
So I love those on a long term basis. The thing that's floating my boat right now is the DDJ XP2 from Pioneer DJ, which is the XP1. They just put the different printing on it basically and made it compatible with Serato.
Yeah.
It's just really nice. Like I've been testing Phase a lot this year, the new wireless Phase system for DVS, and so I've been using a laptop and turntables pretty much all year long, doing that testing. And I've had the DDJ SP1, the original one from Pioneer, with the blue pads. So I've been using that all the time, but that is very dated. It doesn't have color pads on it, doesn't have the latest features. And so the XP2 has come along, and I said in my video I did about it, I'm like, I might not review this because it is just the same hardware, but I will test it. And I've been testing it and I've been loving it. Like Silent Q is awesome. All the pads, bright colors. Yeah, it's a really nice bit of hardware.
Nice, yeah. That was the one product as well. When I was full-time working DJ, I used an SP1 as well, and I loved it. It was my go-to because it made every setup, no matter where what club you were in, you had your comfort zone within the SP1. But then when they brought out the XP1 and it only worked with record box, I was like, I need this for Serato, and I think the whole industry
Lots of people felt the
Serato
same,
users all looked at it and thought the same thing. So it's been nice to see it's finally
and it's
come
got
around.
both logos on it. It has Rekordbox and Serato, which is the first time they've done that.
It's weird to look at.
It's a good thing, though. I think that's a good sign. You know, ultimately, the more competition that's out there, the better for everybody. Like everything gets better when there's more competition. So I want Rekordbox to do well. I want Traktor to come back and do well again. I want Serato to do well. The more the merrier, as far as I'm concerned.
Is this a quick one? Favorite piece of DJ software currently?
No, that's not a quick one. Library management, Rekordbox. Sync, like playing techno and stuff, Traktor. DVS, still Serato DJ Pro. Yeah, whatever.
That's such a political answer, is that?
Yeah.
I'll mention all three.
They've all got their strengths. They've all got their strengths. I do love Traktor. Like, I got really into Traktor when I saw Craze and A-Track were using it a few years back, and they were doing the sync thing. And the sync on Traktor with DVS works better than anything else. Like, no other platform comes close. But then I got into CDJs, Rekordbox, the library management is next level. Just unbelievable. It's better than iTunes. It's better than anything out there. But when it comes to DVS field, Serato is still the best field. So everything's got their strengths. I use all three as much as, I don't really have a problem with going between them because they're all very good.
So how do you think then the future of the industry with things like mobile applications, iPad applications and iOS and, obviously there's a new generation growing up just they've got iPads at home, they don't have laptops. How do you think that's going to affect the DJ industry moving forward? Do you think it's a contender that we need to, be aware of and ready for?
Well, I've heard about this thing called Beat Source that's coming out, which is going to be a specially curated streaming service for DJs. I'm hearing that's going to be pretty good. Disclosure, I work for Beat Source. But no, like streaming is the future. I've done some gigs now where I had good Wi-Fi, and so as a proof of concept, I just didn't play from my library at all. I just played off Tidal in Serato the whole night. And if you've got good connection, it's completely possible. No issues whatsoever. There is an issue with curation is the problem with streaming services because you've got everything in there. You need to get, when you're DJing, you need the right version when you need it. You don't need 42 different versions that you don't want to play.
Cover bands and whatnot.
So that element is missing. But as far as the technology goes, it is only going to be so long before a DJ walks into a venue.
The logs
and whether it's a CDJ or a Denon player, whatever it is, they'll just rock up, put in their password, and then play.
Yeah, I mean, Denon, they just announced today that they're partnering up with SoundCloud to go on the Prime 4 and the SC5000s.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that...
Well, Beat Source is coming to that. Like we're working with them on that. I've already tried. They've got the they did the Prime 4 got Tidal
beta
a little while ago.
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
and then last week they released beta firmware for the SC5000. So I've been playing with that at home because I own an SC5000 that I bought myself. That's my like home media player, and I literally just spent like an hour playing 2 decks in one unit, all off Tidal.
Nice,
just totally smooth, and it's like. This will be the future. The infrastructure is not there. Like a lot of the places I play, I can barely get any phone reception, let alone Wi-Fi from the venue. So it will take a while, but that is eventually where everything will be.
Definitely take off with the amount of messages that we get like, oh, how do I take my Spotify playlist?
It's always Spotify, isn't it? Everyone wants to use a personal home Spotify. So.
And that's where Algorithm have suddenly somehow got that partnership at
like
the moment.
Spotify, it's kind of like iTunes was for the digital downloads. It's the name that you use.
It's just a go-to.
Even for me, like it took me a long time to adjust to the idea of using Spotify just on my phone to listen to stuff. And now I've got to try and move to Tidal because I'm using that with software, and then I'm going to move to Beat Source. It takes a while. Things get entrenched, and kids growing up now, they know music comes from either an iPad with Spotify on it, or it comes from Echo. They're asking their Echo to play them something. They don't even have to type it in.
No.
It's just ridiculous. No. So there's no way that streaming is not the future. And as much as I love physical media, like I played a hip hop set with 7-inch vinyl last night. I love physical media. I've got an attachment to it. The kids growing up today have no attachment to it. They won't care, and rightly so. Because why would they?
Is a way forward.
Do you want to tell us a bit more about Beat Source? Is there anything else you can divulge about it, or just for the listener, like tell them what it is and how it compares to other streaming services, or what the aim is anyway?
Basically, it's us and Beatport working together, and it is all about curation. Like the whole idea is like DJCity. The reason we are successful as a music pool is because we have the best edits curated. Like if something's in our top 20, it's fire in the club.
Yeah.
And so it's finding a way to translate that into ultimately a streaming service with millions of tracks on it, which is a challenging thing to do. But that's why it is a long-term project. We've got the store is in beta now. You can go and sign up and just try it out. That's effectively like Beatport, but for open format. So if you're looking for hip hop and things like that, funk and whatever else, you can go and get that on the Beat Source store.
Nice.
But that's like just the first stage. Like the streaming service is the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
So it's basically a service made by DJs for DJs, and that's what we've not had before in the industry at all. Like Beatport Link is out now, and that's a very specific market. Electronic dance music. I won't use the term EDM because I'm British. We don't do that. But yeah, that market is kind of locked down already. They've been doing that for millions of years. They know what they're doing. So we're just trying to bring some of that flavour to the open format side of things where people are playing lots of genres.
Well, I'm excited to see the future of Beat Source and see how it unfolds. And yeah, anyone listening, go check out the Beat Source beta now. And even if you're listening in the future, it might be a fully fledged service to go check out. So yeah, thanks for that.
Tune of the week.
Okay, so every week again, we want to get some of the latest tunes from everyone. I'm just pulling up my
runs to the phone.
What have we been listening to?
Check the top 10.
Yeah, just talking about the whole Spotify thing.
I don't need to know. I don't need to look at my phone to know that Chris Lorenzo, Mike Skinner from the Streets, Take Me As I Am. What a banger.
Yeah, big
tune. Is that the drum and bass track?
Yeah, it's so good.
Drum and bass people hate that track.
And
I'm not surprised.
Like, I love Chris Lorenzo, right? He's amazing. I think that track is really good as well.
Yeah.
But drum and bass people,
they hate
that record.
Yeah,
I've never seen
slated. It's just because everyone's like, oh my God, it's the most basic jump up tune.
Like sometimes basic jump up is what you want.
It's great.
There's a reason DJ Hazard tunes are so popular. It's like you just want to rave sometimes.
What was the term? I played a load of like really bass drum and bass tracks back to back, and someone on a Crossfader video, the iPad one. And didn't someone say this is the cancer of drum and bass?
Oh, jump up,
that's what I was playing. Yeah,
I know.
I love a bit of jump up. Can't go wrong.
Sometimes I think that happens in every music scene, though. There's people that feel like they own
music connoisseurs.
Connoisseurs. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, the people that know better than everyone else.
Right. Who's next?
Yep. I'll go for it then. So, Boys Noise, Francis and the Lights. Why not?
Yep.
I've been listening to quite a lot. Great tune.
Phantoms. What's the track called? Say It, and it's the A-Track remix.
Nice.
Can't beat an A-Track remix.
Heads Will Roll.
Has
never left my crates. His remix of the
Still
always play it.
Never tire of that track. Yeah,
I always find A-Track and Don Diablo. I don't even need to hear them to know that their main room fine. They're gonna go off.
The thing with A-Track as well was all the Duck Sauce stuff. Him and Harman.
Yes.
It's like
Barbara Streisand.
Unbelievable stuff. So that's my tune this week.
Great tune.
Have we all done tune of the week?
Not me.
No, Danny.
Oh, Danny.
So mine is a tune called Me You by a girl called Tisha. I think it's just a girl, but it's spelled Tsha. It's a bit like if you like Fortet, Bonobo, things like that.
Crazy. I might have to check that out after this.
It's great.
Okay, sweet. Right, so we've got about 5 minutes left of the podcast. I've got 2 questions that are related, but for different people in the industry at the moment that we're going to ask all of our guests that come on. So what is your one piece of advice for a beginner DJ?
It is when you're learning, just play what you like. If you decide you want to be a mainstream DJ and play lots of different things, but when you're learning, you need to play stuff that inspires you and makes you want to DJ for yourself. Because at the beginning, you'll just be playing for yourself. So just decide what you want to go for. And I would always suggest, really, if you want to learn the basics of beat matching and stuff, start with house music.
Yeah.
Because the 4 to the floor, the structure is always very similar. So from a sort of technical point of view, it's that side of things. And also, just pick a platform. Don't, in the first 2 years of DJing, use Traktor, then Rekordbox, then Serato.
Yeah.
Find the one that appeals to you the most, and then just stick with it for a while at least until you know.
It's literally one of the biggest questions we get asked in comments on YouTube, emails through to the website. What should I use, Serato or Rekordbox? What should I use, SB3 or 400? And or the Tractor S2, or, you know, it's always, where do I start, which software, and at the end of the day, they all do roughly.
There's no bad equipment on the market right now. Like I can't think of a single beginner product that I would say is bad. Like even the really cheap stuff, like the Hercules stuff. Yeah, it's, if you are on a real budget, start with that. Yeah, there's a little Hercules 2-channel controller which all of our team who work on the Sirius XM station in the States, they use that on planes. Like they're doing mixes on a plane. And that's just like a £50 controller or something like that.
So good.
So you know,
amazing.
You can achieve with any kind of stuff. Don't just get what you can and start. You just got to start DJing.
Yeah, 100% agree. One piece of advice for an experienced DJ.
That's kind of what I do on the channel.
Yeah,
because you guys deal with the beginners all the time, and I've always tried to kind of talk to working DJs. So I'm going to go back to my amazing tip of last week that I did for Serato. If you've got a knob or a fader in Serato, control click on it or command click on the Mac, and it resets it to its default position. Nice. Like loads of people didn't know about that. I thought everyone knows that. Loads of people didn't know. That's a great little tip. Nice. But yeah, I can't really speak to specific things for experienced DJs. Everyone's got their own. Yeah, you know, just work on your library management. We all need to do it. Every one of us needs to do it. Big one, Spend time on your library, and it will pay for itself. You know, that work that you put in. That's my.
No, that's a very good tip.
Don't have lazy tags. Don't have, you know, missing artist or titles or everything's bunched into one field. Just take the time when you import stuff to your library. Give it a few minutes and just get it right the first time, because you won't have to deal with it again later on.
Nice. And don't play YouTube rips.
Never ever play YouTube rips, or I will come and get you in your sleep.
All right, so coming to the end of
I won't really. That's not true.
This week's podcast. First of all, I just want to say a huge thank you for stopping through. Obviously, we're here in Amsterdam. We're having a great time.
How are you guys finding Amsterdam? ADE, because it's my first year.
It's our first year too. So it's good. We're kind of just recceing it a little bit. We're just getting the vibe for it this year and seeing what it's all about. I think, obviously, I love Amsterdam as a city.
Yeah, I think if you came as a clubber, you could have a really good time.
Oh yeah,
definitely. As I say, I'm new to it this year as well. For us, it is the networking, it's the business stuff, and I think it's so important to do that as a DJ. Yeah. Whether you're a YouTuber or just a DJ in general, just get out there, go to networking events, and just hang out with other people. That's how those connections are made. Yeah. That's how you grow as a DJ and as someone who's in the industry. So just if you get a chance to come to ADE, just come to ADE and just turn up.
There we go.
Absolutely.
Do you want to let the listener know where they can find more out about you and DJCity and where
DJCity? Just Google DJCity. We're all over the place.
There we go. Anywhere in the world, they've got DJCity camps going on. And I know there's link ups and things where you can go and meet in person as well that DJCity do, and there's all sorts of cool things. So go check them out. I've been a user of their record pool since way before Crossfader, and still am. So highly recommended. Thanks again for coming on the show, and we'll hopefully catch up again back in the UK and maybe do this again in next year or something.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Epic.